Let's call the Shakopee City Council meeting to order for May 5th, 2026. If you could please take the roll.
Councilmember Delaney.
Here.
Councilmember Whiting.
Here.
Councilmember Contreras.
Here.
Councilmember Laura.
Here.
Mayor Lehman.
Here. Item number 3, if you'll join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Item number 4, approval of the agenda. Any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have several from staff. Item 5D, the salary adjustment. The item memo was updated to clarify that making the change to council member salaries will also eliminate the current practice of additional city-funded compensation for liaison and other affiliated group meetings. Item 5L, the joint powers agreement had a resolution, a number was changed from 067 to 072. And finally, 11C is pulled and will be coming at a later date.
Does anything change in 5L with the resolution number change?
No, sir. 5L.
5L,
5L.
right. Does any, the memo from staff said 5J, but it's actually
It's
5L.
5L,
Does anything change in,
just the number.
okay. So that's got to change. And 11C
11C will be coming later.
will be deleted from the agenda. Deleted and coming back, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Changes from council? Mr. Delaney?
I'd like to pull 5D.
It's the agenda.
Oh, sorry.
I'll take,
Mr.
I'll
Whiting?
make a motion to approve the agenda as modified as,
Second.
Second by Councilor Contreras. Discussion on the agenda. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Agenda is adopted. Item number 5, consent agenda. Mr. Delaney.
I'd like to pull 5D,
5D.
Delta.
Any other, Mr. Whiting?
I had 5D and 5N.
Nancy, 5 Nancy? Any other changes from council? Let's get a motion in a second. Mr. Delaney,
I'll make a motion
to approve
through the consent agenda
as
as
modified?
as modified, yeah.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second by Contreras. Mr. Reynolds, will you read the consent, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, members of council, these are the consent agenda items for Tuesday, May 5th of 2026. 5A is the civic recreation software renewal. 5B declares forfeited vehicle as surplus property. 5C is the Shakopee St. Francis 2025 bonds amendment, which was requested by the borrower. 5E approves a special event permit and a temporary liquor license for Ales in the Alley. 5F awards contracts for the 2026 Safe Routes to School Infrastructure Improvements Project. 5G awards a contract for the Lions Park parking lot improvements. 5H approves plans and authorizes bidding for the Quarry Lake Erosion Restoration Project. 5I approves plans and authorizes bidding for the Boiling Springs Drainage Improvement Project. 5J approves on-sale and Sunday liquor licenses for the new owners of Arnie's. 5K approves 2 temporary liquor licenses for the Shakopee Lions Club and Foundation Softball Tournament. 5L is the joint powers agreement with the BCA for prosecuting services. 5M is surplus property. 5O is a special event permit and temporary liquor license for JCI Shakopee. 5P is the 2026 annual roadway crack seal project. 5Q approves the April 21st, 2026 city council minutes. 5R is the Joe Schlepper Stadium electrical panel upgrade project. 5S is an Arbor Day proclamation, and 5T is a contract with Stantec for South Shakopee AUAR update.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Any discussion on the motion? Discussion, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, public comment. If you're here for an item that is not on the council agenda, would be the time to step up to the table. We'd love to hear your comments. So if you're here for an item not on our agenda, anybody here for an item not on our agenda? Seeing none. Items removed from the consent agenda. First item is 5D, removed by Counselor Delaney. Counselor Delaney, floor is yours.
Yeah, I agree and disagree with some of this. I know we're trying to get to midpoint, but when we set midpoint, we set it for staff, and that's for recruiting and retention. All council were aware of the salary when we ran for office. That wasn't the reason we ran. From what I could pull from the internet, if you look at comparable cities, we're probably about 7th, and that's looking at Maplewood at a population of 43,000, down to Roseville, a population of 36,000. I mean, that's, I think, reasonable and okay.
Can you pull your microphone up, please?
I'm sorry, I think that's reasonable and okay based on looking at those cities. And again, for midpoint, that's what we, again, target for staff. I mean, some I agree with. If we want to pull the, filing the per diem and rolling that into the current and then putting a COLA on there, I think that would be sufficient, but pushing all the way up $3,000, I think that's a little excessive for the work we do. So, I mean, that's my reasoning.
Okay. Other comments? Mr. Reynolds?
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with Counselor Delaney more. The whole point of having comparable cities and having a midpoint for salary is that we're benchmarking ourselves with these comparable cities on a whole range of issues. And frankly, the job that you individuals do, you do not get compensated enough, period. And the reality is what we want to do is to make sure that we're at the midpoint so we're not at the bottom. And we don't want people who can't afford to take time to not run for council. And, you know, it's a small stipend. You probably get a quarter an hour when it comes down to it, based upon all the things you do and the time involved. So as a city administrator, I think this is critical to ensuring that our council is appropriately compensated. Well, I won't even say that. We're compensating you what we can do politically, frankly, because it's the same as we do for staff. And it was up to me, it would be higher because I frankly think the value is worth that. But that being said, we don't want to be at the bottom of the pile. And I fully understand it's tough to vote on something where you're giving yourself a raise, but you're not. Because the reality is this doesn't go into effect until 2027, and 3 of you up for elected office before then. So,
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Whiting?
First off, I wanted to bring this off because, you know, we are talking about our pay, and I think that should be transparent and not put through on the consent agenda items. The other thing is, you know, we want to talk about the raise here that we're talking about. It's about our council pay. So the one concern I have, we're not raising the mayor's pay, even though it may have looked sufficient or to the midpoint of others, but I think if the council gets a raise, I think the mayor should as well. The other concerns I have is that we are reducing or taking away the per diem for other liaison appointments. I also think the mayor should have that component. You know, we are not doing this for the pay. None of us, I hope I can speak for all of us and say that we didn't sign up for this. We didn't run for election for the pay. And as Mr. Reynolds mentioned, we don't want folks that can't afford to run to be a part of this. One of us does get paid for their liaisons, the rest of us don't. And I know when I have to leave work, that costs money. I have to take off time from work to do it. So it's about equity, it's about fairness when I'm speaking to the per diem concern. It's a stipend, it's a little token to take off some time to go to a meeting for the city, but I think that should still be part of it. I could go either way on the pay increase. I think it's important to keep it up because in the past we've fallen behind and nobody wanted to be that council member that raised the pay. Well, I'm not up for reelection, so I can talk about this at this point, I guess, in time. So I would make a motion to adopt, so we can open up discussion a little more, adopt ordinance 02026-012, modifying the city counts, Shakopee City Code Section 31.04, pertaining to the salaries of the mayor and council members, increasing the annual salary for council members from $9,000 to $12,500. And then I would add increasing the mayor's salary from $14,380 to $18,380, and continuing to add the per diem at $75 per event, and include the mayor in that.
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. Discussion? Counselor Contreras, did you have something?
I mean, like Counselor Whiting said, we're not here for the money, I know, but it is, I guess I don't know why you didn't get a raise, or, I mean, the mayor's section isn't, I didn't,
Well, the staff reports that it's already the midpoint to comparables.
It's higher than the midpoint.
oh, okay.
And again, the whole purpose of doing this is to keep us at the midpoint. And, you know, the mayor would be the one person that would not be at the midpoint. So it would be even higher than it is now if we were to do that. It's your call, obviously.
I guess when I read this, first of all, I'm not interested in, I think the increase is too much. The question I have, first off, is what is the average per diem per year by council members? Does staff know that answer?
We do not have that information because we did not get the question before the meeting and could compile that information.
Okay. And Counselor Whiting, you said you don't get a per diem when you're serving on the MVTA? When you go to that meeting?
I don't get an extra pay.
You should
like,
be getting a
I
per
get
diem.
a per diem, yes.
Okay, because I thought I heard you say you don't get a per diem.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. 1 minute, Mr. Lara. Finish my comments here. I think it's 3,500 in one shot is too large. Trying to compromise a little here. I'm not interested in the mayor pay increasing, even though it's not for me, it's for the next mayor, because it's in the ballpark of where it should be. But I do think if we're going to get rid of the per diems, that we should take what the average per diems received are and incorporate it into the increase. But the thing really missing that I'd really like to see is I'd like to see a yearly COLA consistent with the staff's increase, cost of living increases, just automatic, because that would take care of this lag thing that keeps happening every so many years. You know, if staff is getting a 3.5, then it should be 3.5 for council members. If staff is getting a 5, it should be a 5 for council members. And it should just be baked right into the policy, and that would somewhat keep it consistent and kind of take away the political aspects of it. I certainly think 3,500 is too much of an increase all at once. I'd be willing to compromise on that number, but I'd also like to see a COLA put into it. And my own experience, turning in the per diems is a pain in the butt,
And it's a pain in the butt for staff.
you know, and so I don't really, I honestly, I can say that I rarely turn them in. I think maybe I've turned in 6 or 8 in 4 years. I'm guessing, it might be more than that, but it's pretty low. I don't usually turn them in because it's just,
You
I
forget.
forget.
it's just,
I was under the impression you didn't get the per diem.
I do for, yes, I do, for the things that I'm
Yeah,
actually.
the mayor gets per diem.
That I'm actually appointed to, that would be the Municipal Legislative Commission, and there's just a few others, but like I said, a lot of times I don't turn anything in.
The amount of time that staff spends on this is probably in excess of this very small $3,000. I mean, this item is inconsequential from a budgetary perspective. This can be handled by your current budget.
Yep. So I was looking at, I don't know, raise it 1,000, put in a COLA, leave the mayor out of it because that's already where it needs to be, and whatever you want to do with the per diems, I think whatever we raise it by should be consistent with what the loss of per diem would be. That's my thoughts. Mr. Lara, you had a...
You asked what the per diem is and how much it would be a year. It's $50. So if you
I know what it is. I'm
Well,
asking
yeah,
what the average
what the
turned
average.
in by council is.
I would say $600 a year by me.
Okay?
I haven't found one, many years I haven't found
Probably
it, so
about-
I wouldn't know.
400 a quarter.
I would be willing to go like a 1,200 increase and then put a COLA into it. And a COLA would be whatever the yearly staff increase is. I don't know what the rest of the council is. We do have a motion and a second on the floor, so. Council, what are you thinking?
I have no opinion either way.
Mr. Whiting?
I can restate my motion to address what we talked about. I still think that since one of our council members does receive a paycheck for their liaison, somehow that needs to be compensated for fairness and equity for the rest of the council members that still take the time to do their liaisons. Remember when we started this, there was people that weren't going to their liaison appointments, so.
That is an issue with the utility, and if the utility wants to address that, they can address it. It's not, I don't have the ability, you don't have the ability to do anything about that. That's a utility decision. They pay all of their,
But we do have the ability to do something about that tonight, right here, right now.
Right.
We're talking
Let-
about
let-
equity and fairness.
Let's talk about that, because I want to know more about that. Is our utility liaison not getting the per diem?
They don't get the per diem, I don't believe.
I do not get per diem, I get paid by the utility. I don't take a per diem from the city for that.
Yeah, I think there's a conflict of interest in that. I think it should be a per diem. I don't think it should be getting paid from being a council member and getting paid as a commissioner.
This would, if I may, Mr. Mayor, this would balance it a little bit with the per diem for the council members, since Councilmember Delaney does not take a per diem because he's paid for being on the public utility. So I think the per diem is appropriate for the rest of the council members and yourself for doing our appointed liaison duties. It takes me an hour to get to mine, and I have to leave work an hour and a half early.
Right.
So that's cost me money. So I think, I'm going to do it, but I think it's a little token compensation. I don't charge for mileage or anything like that as well.
And that's why we're trying to increase the rate to cover,
No, we're trying to increase the rate to keep up with our, comparable cities.
right?
So I would be willing to restate my motion, taking your raise out, since you're not interested in that. I thought it'd be equitable
Well,
to
and
do that.
it's really for the next mayor, so.
The next mayor, it might be you or whoever, but so I would restate the motion, leaving the compensation as stated in the document, because I think that's fair and equitable, and and I'll change it to the $50 per diem, and not change the mayor's pay, and restate that as a motion.
Say that again?
Everybody got
Is that any different than the original motion?
Yeah, I took out the $4,000 increase for the mayor
Oh,
and $25 off the per diem.
okay. Is the seconder okay with the amendment?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Discussion on the amended motion.
Say the per diem piece again, I'm missing that.
So the per diem would remain the same. I had stated $75 per diem for council member appointee liaison meetings slash meetings. I'll change that to $50 as it was, so it stays the same. And keep the pay for council members the same, because I think that keeps us at the midpoint, and we're not having this argument right? We don't like to have it every couple of years, so we do it longer than that.
Let me see if I got this straight.
Mr. Thompson?
Mr. Mayor, just so we're clear, the motion, as I understand it, is to adopt ordinance 2026-12 as presented in the packet. which would leave the mayor's salary at $15,000 and raise the salary of council persons to $12,500, effective January 1st, 2027.
It would keep the per diems at 50.
Yeah, the per diems are not actually part of this ordinance. That's why I
Right,
want.
so we're
I'm just-
amending the motion.
There was a table.
But
Sheet,
it's not,
okay.
it's, the per diems are not part of the ordinance.
Right. But is the motion to keep the per diem the same at $50?
Yes, because it was stated that that was
Right.
clarifying the motion, if you want to see
Right.
what was
So,
presented
so
to
no,
us.
no change in the per diem and adopt ordinance.
Correct.
2026-12 that was in the packet. That's the motion.
That's my understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't hear anything about a COLA yearly. So,
You want to add that as an amendment, I think?
no, I'll just vote against it. I still think it's too much of a increase at once. I think there's a lot that could be saved with the per diems and staff time and the pain that it is to deal with them. And all of this could be avoided by having the cost of living increase in it every year, so. Counselor Contreras.
So okay, just so I am understanding, so we will, the way you're stating it, Counselor Whiting, the raise will go to $12.50, but still continue with the per diem?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with taking the per diem off, if we're doing that, the raise.
Are you withdrawing your second?
I think I am. I
Okay.
think I'd rather save the per, since we
Okay.
are doing that raise,
Okay, so
yeah.
now we're back to square one. We do not have a second to the motion. So,
I think the way it was stated was just fine.
oh, you're,
Yeah, the way it was
Okay.
fine
Original.
without the original,
Okay.
without the per diem, yeah.
okay, so,
I will just say that one of us is going to get paid for their liaison and the rest of us aren't then.
But that wouldn't have changed it
Right,
anyways.
but we,
No, we got a per diem.
but again, that's an issue that we can't,
That's,
Well, we can
That-
adjust it right here.
yes.
just getting the per diem, is that,
and that, I'm not the first utility commissioner from this board, so I won't be the last utility commissioner from this board. So.
Well, just for the record, when I served on a utility, I didn't get paid anything. I didn't get a per diem or any pay from the
Neither
utility.
did I, yeah.
So,
Okay.
that's a change that the utility must have made, and we should probably talk to them about changing that, because that's absolutely not fair. I agree with you. So, all right, where are we at? What do we want to do?
I don't know.
Do we need to come back to it?
Yeah, there's nothing on the floor right now. I'm still at increasing it by 1,000 or 1,500 for council members. Don't increase the mayor's, and put a per diem, not a per diem, a cost of living adjustment yearly equal to what staff receives. And if you want to keep the 50 per diem because it's a lower dollar amount, that's fine.
No,
That's
I can-
fine.
I can
Some of
restate
us-
it.
Some of us just don't turn them in because it's not worth it.
I don't turn mine in, so.
Mr. Whiting,
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 02026 TAC 012, modifying the Shakopee City Code, section 31.04, pertaining to the salaries of the mayor and city council members, increasing the annual salary for council members from $9,000 to $12,500.
That's it? Okay. I'll second it.
okay, so now there's no per
Oh,
diem.
I'll add the addition of, have staff look at a COLA.
There's no per diem in this, right?
No per diem.
Okay, and there's no COLA, all
No,
right?
I just added that, if you agree with that.
Well, that's where we were a minute ago.
No, I just added it to the motion. So the ordinance with a COLA adjustment, adjusted by staff,
For late, okay.
that is equal to the city staff members.
Okay? Mr. Lara,
Just so I'm understanding this correctly, instead of being 9, it'd be 10.5?
it'd be 12.5.
12? No, but what you're proposing,
Yes, it'd be 10.5,
plus the 3%.
plus whatever the COLA is yearly that staff gets.
No per diem.
No per diem. But I could go either way with the per diem. I'm not, if you want to have a per diem, that's fine too.
But the one Jay, Mr. Whiting, Counselor Whiting was keep it at 12.
Keeping it as, yeah.
With the COLA. Adding the COLA.
I mean, yeah, we can meet in the, I mean, like it's, the whole reason why we're talking about this is because there is that lag. And if we don't do a 3% or add a COLA part to it, we're just gonna be doing this every so many years anyways. And it's just, and to be honest, this is a really awkward conversation to be talking about our pay in front of
Yep.
the public.
I can amend my motion and second what Counselor Whiting said, adding the COLA.
Okay, so what all's on the floor?
Mr. Thompson,
Mr. Mayor, we're not going to be able to, we can give direction to staff to come back with a COLA, but we can't draft that
Okay.
language tonight because it has to be drafted in a way that it's effective on January 1st, 2027, and every year thereafter. That's, we need, I would need more time to
Okay.
draft that type of ordinance if the direction from the council is to
Okay.
put a COLA in. I don't think we can craft
Okay.
that tonight.
so do you want to give direction to staff to bring this back at what dollar amount?
As stated with the COLA, as adjusted to what the city staff collect on an annual basis.
Okay, so Jay wants the 12.5. Is there 3 that support that?
That's fine. No?
Is there 3 that would support 10.5?
So
Yes.
confused.
Who all supports 10.5? Me? Delaney, where are you at?
If it will eliminate per diem at the 10.5. So we're.
You're on 10.5, I'm on 10.5, he's on 10.5, where are you at?
That's 12.5.
You're at 12.5. Okay, so we have 3 for 10.5. How many are in favor of adding a yearly COLA to the policy?
That's fine.
1, 2, 3, 4. Per diems, $50 per liaison meeting attended. Who's in favor for
It's
that?
fair.
You're in favor of that? I'm okay with that.
Sure.
That's fine.
You 4 for that? DMs. All right, so the direction to staff would be to bring this back at 10.5, a yearly cost of living increase consistent with what staff receives, and per diems for liaisons that you're appointed to. Are we, questions from staff good with where we're at? I mean, understood?
I got it.
Understood where we're at?
Got it, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. Five D. The next one that was removed from consent was 5N, snow plowing ice control policy, Mr. Whiting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, what a difference a word makes. Let me draw your attention to page 6 of 7, section 14. So many of our city citizens have plantings in their boulevard. They might put tchotchkes out there. This, by changing the words from is not permitted, from permitted to not permitted, tells our citizens that, no, you can no longer put flowers in your boulevard. You can no longer put anything in your boulevard. And I know from walking around this community that a lot of people have that. I understand that this document also says that if the city does damage to that, that they're not responsible. But that's a big change. It's under landscaping. They're adding landscaping, including nursery and inanimate materials that are installed or encroach on the city's owned right-of-way, goes from permitted to not permitted. But the owners assumes all risk damage is what it said, but now it says, and the owner assumes all risk damage.
So I'm thinking pop-up library boxes.
Anything, library boxes, flowers, native plantings. Some people have gardens all the way out to the street. Now, of course, they're going to get hit by a plow or whatever they might happen, but this changes it.
Page are you on?
I'm on page 6 of 7, page 99, item number, section 14, landscaping.
Landscape.
So that concerns me if we're going to be, we don't enforce a lot of our ordinances, but if we started all of a sudden telling people they can't put their gardens or their bushes or whatever they have in their boulevard, that's going to be a problem.
One of the issues that we continue to have problems with is when we push snow, we push it in places that damage things that people have in the right-of-way. The right-of-way is the city right-of-way. And, the whole point is to say, okay, you're not allowed to do this, but if you do it and it gets damaged, you're responsible for it. We don't have right-of-way police that go around and say, oh, you got a daisy in the right-of-way. But, when,
You could.
I guess we could.
Well, we're not going to spend that kind of money to have somebody going up and down every single street and,
So can we word it so that they assume responsibility?
It already is worded that they assume responsibility, Mr. Mayor, if we could. So now it's just saying that it's not permitted, and they still assume responsibility.
Mr. Whiting, if we, all we'd have to take is, we could actually take not permitted out completely, them two words, and say the owner assumes all risk for any damages to anything in the easement.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Well, but the problem is you're going to get people putting sheds and things like that on the easement.
But this is
The whole-
salting,
the-
Yeah, we're talking about,
snow removal here.
and we're talking about landscaping. I don't see a shed on the right-of-way as landscaping.
Are you talking in the back of the alleys?
You're going to have landscaping sheds. I'll put money on it right now.
So it reads landscaping including nursery and inanimate materials that are installed or encroach on the city's owned right-of-way. And we're talking about the salting and snow plowing policy.
Correct.
So that's my concern.
I hate to say it, but most of my front yard is city right-of-way since you narrowed up the street. I basically wouldn't be able to use my front yard for anything. Under the, nothing's permitted. What do we have, I think we got a bird bath there and her flower baskets and whatnot. I'm surprised how far back it comes when he narrowed the street up.
It's, the policy does not rest on this small. I mean, feel free to strike that, and we'll continue to deal with the issue as we have been for decades now.
I'll make that motion.
So, Mr. Thompson, do we need to send this back, or can we modify it?
No, Mr. Mayor, you can approve it with just striking, without making the changes to Article 14, just leave it as is, and adopt all the other ones.
Yeah, this is just a policy. This is
Right.
not an ordinance.
Okay? Mr. Whiting?
I'll make a motion to approve the city's snow plowing and ice control policy with a modification to Section 14 under landscaping, currently on our agenda, page 99, and remove the changes to Section 14.
And let's make sure we're clear on the change. Sorry about that.
So it's adding the word "not,"
So that's removed.
and they're changing "but" to "and." It's just putting it back to
None.
"and."
We're,
Gotta
we're
remove
striking not, we're striking and returning it to but.
That's correct, sorry, yeah.
All right, so if we have a second, I think I've got
Second?
we do have a second from Counselor Delaney. So now let's look at this from a standpoint of, they tear up the right-of-way, putting in the fiber, and the owner has to assume all risk for that damage now?
Mayor,
Mayor and council, our right-of-way permits would dictate who's responsible for the restoration for work done under a right-of-way permit. The homeowner would not be responsible for that.
Okay. And does this hold enough teeth, Mr. Thompson, since this is specifically related to snow and ice removal on the streets from snow plowing? That you're not going to be allowed to put a shed in the city right away?
Mr. Mayor, Members of Council, I'll defer a little bit to staff on this, but I don't think a shed is inanimate materials. I don't think that's what that phrase means. I'm guessing it means other things that are like landscaping but are not.
Right.
That, I don't know, it might mean
Yep.
gravel, or, I'm not gravel, but I don't know. I don't think, I would not call a shed materials.
Okay,
It's
so we're good?
it's a structure, so it's fine.
Okay. Discussion on the motion. Motion was Counselor Whiting, seconded by Counselor Delaney. Discussion on the motion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, public hearing, 8A, gravel pit TIF 22. Mr. Whiting.
Make a motion to open a public hearing.
Is there a second by Counselor Contreras? Discussion on the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Public hearing is now open. Mr. Kursky, the floor is yours when you're ready.
Thank you, Mayor. If you can just hang 1 second. I lost power here. Mayor, if you could delay it and go to the next item, I'll come back. I gotta get a power cord.
All right.
Thank you.
We do have a public hearing that we opened, so we will hold the public hearing open
Correct.
and move to 8B and come back to 8A.
No, we might have it. Oh, never mind.
So item 8B is a resolution certifying assessments for delinquent police false alarm and mowing bills. Mr. Reinhardt is City Financial Director.
Okay, now we got to switch it back to this. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Tonight we have a public hearing on special.
1 minute, let me open a public hearing for that.
Oh, sure.
Mr. Whiting?
I'll revise my opening the public hearing to this opening of the public hearing. Make that
Second.
motion.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Thompson, can we revise the original, or can we have two public hearings open at the same time?
You can have, don't revise the original one, just open a new public hearing.
All right, we'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
For,
For the delinquent, certifying assessments for delinquent police false alarms and mowing bills.
is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Contreras. Discussion on the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Public hearing for our second item, assessment hearings for delinquent, is open. Mr. Reinhardt,
Yep.
floor is yours.
Yep, good evening, Mayor and Council members. As I mentioned tonight, we have a public hearing on unpaid bills for city services. I did provide a listing with the council packet that included 2 false alarms and 5 lawn mowing charges. The total amount of these charges is $1,400. This is a process we go through once or twice a year to certify these unpaid charges to the property owners' taxes as allowed by Minnesota Statute 429. Following approval of the delinquent assessments, a $25 administrative service charge will be added to each of these accounts. The admin charge covers our costs associated with certifying these delinquent accounts. Property owners will have until June 6th to pay the assessment interest-free. Following that, the assessments will bear an interest rate of 6%. We will provide a second courtesy letter notifying the property owners of their assessment following this public hearing. Staff is recommending certifying the assessments of delinquent bills. Just the remaining actions tonight would be to receive comments from the public. Motion to close the public hearing and then consideration of Resolution 2026-063, which is a resolution ordering the certification of unpaid false alarms and mowing bills for collection with payable 2027 property taxes. And staff has not received any written objections.
Questions of staff? I have two. First question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but it's good to have the public know this too, but the charge that we're levying for the services rendered on the false alarm comes out of our fee schedule, correct?
Correct.
And the lawn mowing, is that billed on an hourly basis from the fee schedule, or is that also a set in a fee schedule?
I think that would be based on the charge that we get for hiring that
Okay.
third party to come out there and mow that property.
Okay, and the other question that, hard to answer, I'm sure, but I'm curious as to what, some of these properties are continuous and continuous and continuous. Do we know why that's happening?
It would vary for each of these properties. They probably all have unique circumstances, but usually, well, I shouldn't say usually, but sometimes it's maybe the homeowner moved away, or maybe they're typically vacant properties at the time when we're mowing it, and they're not being upkept for whatever that particular reason would be.
I think there's one property that I've seen for a couple of years now. It's always consistent, and I was wondering, maybe I should have the city just mow mine. Is it cost effective for me to do that? No, I won't do that. I enjoy that,
Well, they own the right of way, they should, your boulevard.
right?
They should do the boulevards.
Right. Any questions for staff? Okay, this is a public hearing. If you're here for this item, now would be the time to come forward. We'd love to hear your comments. If you're here for an assessment for delinquent false alarms or mowing, now would be the time to be heard. Is there anybody here for this item? I see none. Mr. Lara,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
is there a second?
Second?
Seconded by Mr. Delaney. Motion made by Mr. Lara. Discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Public hearing is closed. Wishes of council. Mr. Delaney,
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution R 2026-063, certifying assessment for delinquent.
is there a second to the motion? Mr.
I'll-
Lara
I'll
seconds the
second.
motion. Motion maker was Counselor Delaney. Discussion on the motion. No discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we will move back to item 8A. Public hearing is open. And if you're ready, Mr. Kursky, the
Yes,
floor is
Mayor,
yours,
thank
sir.
you for your patience there. First, I'd like to introduce Rebecca Kurtz, who's our new representative from Ellers, who for years we have been using Baker Tilly, but we've switched, and she's our new representative on the account and has been working on this project. So she'll be here if there are any specific tax increment financing questions. So this is the Shakopee Gravel Pit redevelopment. This was Shakopee Gravel back in the early 1980s, much different looking than it looks today. This was, excuse me, in the year 2000 when they were actively mining away in the pit. And this is what it looks like today. Some of you remember these pictures. A lot of residential right up against it, pretty significant fall off from our road of up to 80 feet. You can see here how deep the pit really is. So a little history, pit was opened by another entity in the 1980s. You all saw a concept plan in 2019 for residential and industrial. Council approved a TIF plan in November of 2024. The developers, actually 4 of them, abandoned the project because of risks. City completed a Braun study in 2025, which identified areas of unstable and not suitable soils. They did not find any major contamination areas, just some pockets of contaminated materials. This was the plan you looked at back in 2019. Up in the corner were 2 large industrial buildings, some residential and some ponding. This is the plan the city worked on. We went to the legislature to get the legislation passed. And this is the plan we have today. So currently, the plan is a minimum of a $600 million investment in order to generate the TIF. It has special legislation from the state that expires at the end of the year. If TIF district is not created, it does include the new 24-acre park, 155 single-family homes, 74 detached townhomes, 110 attached townhomes, 530 plus apartments, grocery store, approximately 100,000 square feet of medical and office space, and about 60,000 square feet of retail and restaurants. This is kind of the more specific plan that you all approved. We have a preliminary plat done. The new developer has been working with its consultants and has made a few suggested changes. This is the park that was included. Bigger view of the project. And again, one of the benefits of working on this project, we've been working with Shakopee Public Utilities. They did purchase the Hawkins property, which was a parcel that was originally included in the TIF. We removed it from the TIF. That will be their new location for their water treatment facility. They'll also run all of their water lines, supply lines through the project, stay out of County Highway 83 and Eagle Creek by running them through the neighborhood and through some of our trail system to get them to this site. The other benefit is by keeping the lake in the design we had, it was they were able to reduce the amount of soils that need to be brought in. So this is the new kind of concept plan the developers looked at. One of the things staff has pointed out, we're probably going to, where the apartments are in the middle there, flip that road around so it does not come off the rotary road. So that would be a new public street that basically will have a loop road around the interior. Here's kind of a view of what they're working on right now. The biggest change here is a new road that comes by Spuck's water treatment plant and comes down that hill. All the other developers basically had figured that was going to be too difficult to do. They've worked with their engineer and feel it's really necessary for the success of the retail, particularly the grocery store, to have that access road coming down from the main road. Some additional renderings that they've completed. They've had significant interest in the retail area. We're still working with them on locating a grocery store. So this is the view coming down that new road with the grocery store on your right and then the retail down below. So if you remember, County Highway 83 drops 17 feet from the proposed access point on the county road down to the corner. So one of the things that this allows, fewer retaining walls, but a better access point for the commercial area. And this is a proposed office building. They're working with some potential medical office users. So right now, looking at flipping and certifying the 4 million cubic yards currently in the site, 26, 27, importing somewhere between 400,000 and 1 million cubic yards of new fill for 26, 27, and 28, letting the site settle between 27 and 28. Beginning the construction of public infrastructure in 2028, constructing the public lake and stormwater pond from 27 through 29, building the city park from 27 to 28, and then working on building the project out over 5 to 10 years, depending on the market. They do have a letter of intent with a home builder who would do all of the products. That was one of the concerns. A lot of the home builders did not want to build townhomes, for instance, or the detached townhomes. They have located a home builder who's willing to do all of the products. So tonight, what we need to do is rescind the tax increment finance plan from 2024, adopt a new plan, modify the city's interfund loan, and then you'll see a contract for private development probably in July, and staff will be working with the developer ongoing on the commercial and retail tenants.
Thank you. Questions for staff? Mr. Whiting?
So we always knew there was going to be risks, and we always knew there was soil concerns. Did that change with the Braun inspection, or did it just certify it?
Mayor and council, I think it certified it. And that's, we didn't have that complete study done, but I think it just basically certified that there are some pretty significant problems. The corner along Eagle Creek, the far corner, so it'd be the western corner, has about 50 feet of unstable soils up against those residential areas. So that for sure is going to have to come out and get either reused as topsoil in the park or just taken off site. I think one of the concerns, even for the current developer, is that as they get into it, you're not going to know whether you need the 400 or the million until you really start moving soil around. Right now, there are not that many projects going on in the Twin Cities, and, you know, with the cost of diesel right now, hauling soil gets pretty expensive. An average truck, I think, is about 20 cubic yards. So if you think about the thousands of trucks you'll need to make even the 400,000 cubic yards, if it gets to 1 million, that number goes up exponentially. Plus, they're going to just have to wait longer to try and find that fill. They're actually taking in some fill right now that became available, kind of at risk with, because they haven't closed on the property yet, because it's available and they need to stockpile it on the site, because when it's available, you got to take it or it goes somewhere else.
If I can continue, I got a couple more. New developer, did any of the, I know we talked about the retail, but did the size of the public space change any? Did the park get smaller?
Nope, Mayor and Council Park's identical. The only thing that's really changed is they have done some retail development. The former company that was involved in it has since moved on, and they took another look at it and said that secondary road, from talking to other retailers, is absolutely critical, that road that comes down past the grocery store, because if you're a grocery store, you're driving down the road and you'd be like, how do I get there? And so, you know, there are a number of sites in the city. When I first moved here, I was like, how do you get to that spot? They didn't feel they'd be able to attract any tenants, particularly with a new project, unless they had that secondary road.
I think it'd be important for fire safety too,
Yep.
getting a big truck in there. Now, what we're talking about tonight is changing the TIF to a soils TIF.
Mayor and Council, it always was a soil TIF. It's just a special category of soil TIFs that was passed by the legislature. It's the same TIF that we had
Same
before.
TIF, just updating it for the new developer, or?
Mayor and Council, the big change is, I think, the original developer, if you remember, this started back in 2022, I think, when they took it on. Their estimate was an investment of about $350 million, and that's why they couldn't make the numbers work, because present value of the TIF back then was about $19 million, and no bank, no investor would do the project. So the second guy came in, who was similar to our current developer, in that it was a family office, but the father wanted to do the deal, but the two sons are going to inherit the company. Said, we're not willing to risk the whole company on this. I think the current developer has done a project already here in Shakopee. He did the amphitheater. He's worked with engineering staff, with Shakopee Public Utilities, with our staff, the building staff. He feels pretty comfortable. It's still a big risk, and he understands that, but I think he believes this is a really critical site that's either going to be a big hole or it's going to be a spectacular project for the city, and he's willing to roll the dice.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Delaney?
Just a quick question. So the TIF that we're, I guess, rescinding, that was $66 million for projected interest cost total, and this one's now.
Councilmember, can you speak into?
Yeah, in a microphone, please.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Just pull it up a little bit. There you go.
So the original TIF was $66 million for projected project and interest cost total, and so we're now changing that to $110 million?
So Mayor and Council, again, the original value of the investment was about $350 million. Now we're over 600. And again, the TIF really depends on the developer building it out. It's not money we're giving them, it's money they're paying into the tax increment fund that they get back twice a year. So if the project comes in at $500 million, that number will drop. I mean, it's in their best interest to get better quality building and product, because it's going to help them recoup their risk. And I think that's why he went with a home builder that has a really good reputation, that's willing to do a different product for this site that they haven't done anywhere in the Twin Cities, because they saw the opportunity. I think that's why he's been out aggressively pursuing some retailers that want to come into this market, that, you know, we're kind of retail site shy right at the moment. This is the last big site, because I think He needs to get that number. I think the other thing is the number originally, the developer couldn't even recoup the reclamation costs at that value. And that's why the last 3 developers walked, because it's a big risk. I mean, you've got to put all that cash up front, and it could be 5 or 6 years before you get any return.
Thanks. Thank you.
More questions of staff before I have my laundry list? All right, first question. The last information I could find on this was the Scott County lumber versus Shakopee in the appellate court, and I think that was 83, maybe it was 83.
Early 80s, yep.
Yeah, and that document says they were only to mine down 10 to 25 feet. You're telling me it's 80 feet deep?
Yeah.
So first question is, how does that happen? Second is, they were supposed to reclaim the property, and they didn't. So why are we not holding the property owner accountable to what they were supposed to be doing?
So Mayor and Council, and I've had the discussion with the city attorney, you can chime in because you read that case. The city lost that case, and so.
No, the case we lost was not giving them a permit. They accepted the permit with conditions, including 20 additional conditions.
So the city turned their permit down,
And the appellate court said we had to give them a permit.
yes. The
And
permit-
they accepted our permit with conditions and including the additional 20 conditions.
And Mayor and Council, since that time, there's been other permits before you that have been litigated, and if you look at that original picture, they were just mining that corner. In order to mine the next section of land, they had to come back to the city council, and way before my time and some of your time, but they got a permit for that.
So then the next question is, since whoever, I don't know if it was the property owner or whoever the mining company was, they basically dug a hole in this property, made money on selling the aggregate, and then stepped back and said, now this is somebody else's problem?
Mayor and council, the state legislature changed the law after a lot of these mines, that now you have to reclaim them, but Apple Valley, Shakopee, 3 or 4 other cities all face the same problem, where dug a big hole, but there was no funds set aside. The new law says if you're mining, it's got to be put back and reclaimed. That is not the current law.
Okay, so why wouldn't we try to use the federal environmental, what's the name of that new law that was just passed? It's a Federal Environmental Waiver for Housing Act on this project. Why wouldn't we bring the state down and say, here's what you created, we'll wait for you guys to help fix it?
Mayor and council, I think you can do whatever you want. Your choice is, do you get a $600+ million investment, the site cleaned up, the payments back to that person basically are only caused by their development, or do you leave a big hole?
We could put $1 trillion investment on that property until the debt is paid off. It serves no benefit to the taxpayers of Shakopee.
So Mayor and council, in year 20, that $600 million, which will then probably be $1 billion, comes on the tax rolls.
Right, but until that happens, we're going to be supplying plow trucks, fire. They're not going to be paying into the full-time fire department that we're now restructured and creating. They're not going to pay into any equipment fund or any capital improvement. Matter of fact, the roads that are going to be put in, by the time this is over with, them roads will have so many improvements done, and they would not have paid anything into the capital improvement fund like the rest of the taxpayers do. They won't be paying for any city services. And I don't see where the benefit to a taxpayers is until 25 years later.
So, and again, Mayor and council, it's worth about $5 million now in the tax rolls. So you'll get 20 years of taxes on $5 million versus in year 21, you'll get taxes on about $1 billion.
In what year?
Year 2021, this comes back on the tax rolls. The other thing is,
2021 was 5 years ago.
no, in 21 years, sorry.
Right.
In 21 years, you get $1 billion on the tax roll. The other thing is that, for instance, at Canterbury, if there's any special assessments, for instance, from the school district, TIF properties still pay that. So
Well,
the
but
school
we're,
district captured, when they had to pass a new bond, they captured that value, and they're paying. For instance, beyond our TIF money, the Triple Crown Apartments pay $400,000 a year towards other assessments.
but are we not capturing the county and the school districts' taxes over the next 21 years also? So these entities will be providing services like the city
Mayor and
is.
council, only their existing taxes. If there's any special levies they pass for additional revenue or capital, those go on the property.
Right, they just passed a levy that wouldn't be included because this wasn't created.
Correct.
Okay, so they wouldn't be paying on that levy.
Any future levy.
Right. At a time when the school district has got unfunded mandates from the state and the county is getting thrown under the bus by the state, basically, for human services, social service programs and stuff, and they're picking up them costs. And now they're going to pick up these services to this development for the next 25 years. Same with the school, same with the city, and receive no revenue for that service. So the rest of us are going to have to pay more to these other entities for these services for 20 years.
So Mayor and council, the school district benefits because the more students, they get paid by student. That's where they get the lion's share of
state
their
funding
money.
per pupil student dollars, but that's not their only funding source. They get property taxes, and everybody in Shakopee knows that they pay their property taxes twice a year. Mr.
question.
Delaney,
Did we get feedback from Scott County and the school district on this? Did we get feedback from Scott County and the school district on this TIF change?
Mayor and council, both this time and the first time, and neither the county nor the school district objected.
Mr. Whiting,
Here's my counter to your conversation. 20 years of a big hole in the ground. One kid falls off an 80-foot cliff. We'd be happy to pay
it's
that.
not our property.
So with that, are you through with your
Yes, sir.
presentation?
You're premature. It's a public hearing, so we're going to hear from the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Any other questions for staff? If you are here for this topic, it is a public hearing. We'd love to hear from the public on the topic at hand. If there's anybody here that would like to speak on this matter, please, come on forward. Anybody? Seeing none? Mr. Whiting?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll
Mr.
second.
Lara? Discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Whiting?
So even with private property, if a kid falls off that hill,
That's not
it's
our,
worth
it's not
our,
our
it-
property.
it's still a concern for us as leaders of this community. So with that, I make a motion to approve Resolution R 2026-074, rescinding the resolution number R 2024-17, and approving a tax increment financing plan for tax increment financing soil deficiency, District Number 22, and modified redevelopment plan for the Minnesota River Valley Housing and Redevelopment Project Number 1.
I'll second
Is
it.
it seconded by Councilor Contreras? Discussion on the motion.
I do have
Go ahead.
a comment. So we're talking about the city giving, the permits and allowing this to pretty much happen. So I think, of course, before our time. And I think this is our time to fix it. And I know and I understand, I completely understand what you say, but Mr. Kursky just said, we're still gonna get the taxes from what the value is currently. Yes, in 20 years, when it's worth $1 billion or whatever it's worth, and this is gonna be phases, it's not gonna be, it's not all gonna happen, because we still need all that, dirt to set and all that stuff. But it's the time for us to take care of it, and there are many things, like Mr. Whiting said, that can happen. And yes, they're not our responsibility, but we're talking about lives that something could happen, So I feel this is the moment for us to take some responsibility and get this. I mean, there's someone who is willing to invest into it, and take care of it. So, I mean, it's his money, so.
They're getting reimbursed for their investment off the taxes, future taxes from the property.
Right, but you gotta look, you need to invest to eventually in time take those fruits back. I mean, you don't just go and pick something, you have to plow the ground and put the tree in, and then one day when it grows, you get the fruits back. So it's like, that's what we're doing right now. I don't understand, sorry, that's just.
You don't understand personal responsibility. Somebody dug a great big hole and
With
they
our
want somebody
permission, we
else
gave
to
them the
take care of it.
permits.
We could say no. We don't
But
have.
we
any-
didn't.
We don't have any obligation to do this.
But we
We're not
didn't.
required to do this. We could say, nope, we're not doing this. The property owner is going to sit on this property and say, I can't sell it. He's going to pay $8,500 a year in taxes for the next 25 years until the TIF district is paid off. His taxes are frozen. They will never go up while everybody else's goes up. And this is extremely risky right now. The timing couldn't be worse, but it is what it is. I understand where your vision is. We just have different worldviews, and that's fine. It is what it is, and that's why councils and bodies, commission bodies, and so on are made up of multiple members. The majority does its thing, and that's, if the voters don't like it, that's their prerogative, so. All right, we do have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion passed 3-2. All right, so that will bring us to item 11A. Caught me off guard, we went from 8B to 11A. 11A is Park and Recreation Annual Report Presentation.
You missed number 9.
Oops.
PDA meeting, Mayor.
No.
Yes, I did. All right, a motion to recess for Economic Development Authority would be in order. Mr. Lara,
So moved.
is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Delaney. Discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
I'm going to call to order the Tuesday, May 5th, 2026 meeting of the Shakopee Economic Development Authority. Please make note of the roll. And we'll move on to item number 2, approval of the agenda. Member Lehman,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have an agenda. All right, we're going to move on to item number 3, consent business. Member Lehman.
I'll move the consent business.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. That includes the approval of the EDA meeting minutes. Any discussion on those meeting minutes? Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We are on to item number 4, general business. It's a change order from Gensler for additional views and expansions of the Canterbury study area. Mr. Kursky. Sorry, I went too fast. Warming up. I know. We do have the packet, items in our packet if we have to go forward.
I love technology, especially when it doesn't work. All right, you have the packet.
Do you want to put it under the camera? I mean, I can loan you my, my agenda item if you want to put it on the camera.
Oh, I have a zip drive. Hang on. Yeah. Bear with me 2 seconds.
It's in the cloud. It's just a stormy night.
Satellites. What's the name of that chain that goes over? Starlink.
Starlink, yeah, I haven't seen that, but I've seen pictures of it. There we go.
There we go. I apologize. Okay, sorry.
All right, continue.
Technology. So we did work with Canterbury and Gensler and Hunden Partners on the first phase. So this was their visioning for Canterbury Park. So they looked at creating a multi-season entertainment hub, all-day, everyday activity, a place for big moments, looking at horse racing as a unifying concept and transforming and honoring the past. So kind of here were some of the items they looked at and how they could be combined. So one of the items, we already have a major entertainment anchor with the amphitheater, and one of the things we need is a destination hotel. So they looked at a spa and meeting and banquet facility and what could complement that. And then these are the themes that they worked on. So looking at Insta collectors, cultural chasers, night out crowd, pamper crew, leisure loyalists, night out players, social weekenders. So how do we get people to come to Shakopee and spend more than just a moment here? So these were some of the things they looked at is art festivals, movie nights, watch parties, curling festival, winter lights festival, yoga in the plaza, local brewery festival. So these are some of they looked at other things from the Hunden report, so how they could activate the space. And one of the things was, we already have an 800-plus car park that was built for the amphitheater, that if you remember from our agreement, when the amphitheater is not using that, that is free city public parking. How do we take advantage of that and make this really a walkable neighborhood? So this is the site we're talking about here. It's basically 28 plus acres, including the parking lot. Here's the amphitheater. What we're talking about tonight is extending kind of the vision to complete this area, because as we've been talking to people, everybody's asking what happens to the barns, what happens here, how can we create a bigger anchor in the corner? So that would be the last phase of the Gensler contract. So here I looked at circulation, and then here it's really not that far to walk, so 5-minute walk, basically, that's a 10-minute walk, and that's a 15-minute walk. So get to the next. So these were the numbers that Hunden Partners came up with that could be served in the market in 2 phases. So looking at the project as 2 phases. Phase 1 would have some parking temporarily. Phase 2, parking over here. So this is what the site renders out as. So this is the existing city-owned parking lot. There's the amphitheater. So you have a major anchor in the middle, which would be a destination hotel, office buildings around the outside with some mixed use, and then multifamily housing. Because one of the things I think Hunden learned, and what we've all learned, is without a regular kind of boots on the ground here, these type of spaces can't survive. There's nobody going out on a Tuesday night to dinner or a bar or a restaurant or an event unless you have people actually living here. So really creating a different type of experience here with a hotel that's just basically not currently in the market. So this was the phase 1 kind of concept. Another big piece was honoring the horse history. So Randy Sampson, has been involved in this track for many years. He bought in, I think, pretty quickly to how do we honor the tradition of, horses being at Canterbury and kind of bring it into the neighborhood and make it an attraction. This is kind of what project built out. We get to some images. So these were some of the things they looked at, in the horse racing trade. Colors, some of the activity that occurs, how can you generate that kind of idea with the big screen that they have at Canterbury. And then public spaces, looking at some precedents nationwide that have been pretty successful. How do we incorporate those into Canterbury? And how do we have an architecture that doesn't basically mimic Canterbury, but really represents some kind of new materials, but also honors kind of the past, so the brick history in Shakopee. So Here's kind of how the vision took shape. They did add in a little extra roof to the amphitheater, but I think the next piece is going to look kind of at this corner and then all the way down to the practice track, because we do have space for additional barns in this area. And I think everyone's dream is this is not the highest and best use here to really continue this project down. But walkable Main Street was one of the big drivers. And then this is kind of the big aha moment. So this would be a new best-in-class hotel with a public plaza here, a hall over here that would have other events, a food hall, but basically a big gathering space, and could show football games, horse racing, like the Kentucky Derby could have been up on this big screen this past weekend.
Amazing.
And again, we have a really cool video that we could play, but it won't play in here. But bringing the horses kind of into events and parties. So one of the things we've talked about is if there's a groomsmen night out or a bridal party night out, bringing them over here, engaging them in the horse area. This was a wedding that they proposed. And then really making it a year-round destination. So being able to convert that plaza. This is a hill that was a sitting hill during the summertime, could be a sledding hill, an ice rink potentially, one of the Christmas marts, booths along the back, really making this a destination location. They took a lot of ideas from Titletown in Green Bay, which is kind of a similar site, but they really densified it by including kind of a larger hotel and more residential. And so basically, this is kind of what it would look like at night. So again, the next phase is going to really come in on this corner and then look at the rest of this real estate. Happy to answer questions.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Lehman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Question, are we going to really, we really need to take a look at traffic the first season with the amphitheater.
So let me just jump forward because I have one more comment, Mayor. So as part of this, they need to do an AUAR. So we'll be bringing that back to you once we get a final proposal from SRF, who did the original traffic study for the amphitheater. They plan on doing traffic counts on a day when Canterbury both has live racing and a sold-out concert. They're going to look at the traffic patterns.
Well, I'm kind of, Mr. President, I'm kind of looking at it from two aspects. One is what's being proposed and how it functions at the same time that the track and amphitheater is going on. And then, because really in the wintertime, when the other two things aren't happening, it's not an issue. So I really think it's going to be the peak winter or summertime. Yeah, that's really my concern. And we don't really know until we get through a season of concerts at the amphitheater. And I know there's going to be some bugs, that's kind of expected, but it's just a lot of capacity all at once.
Anything else? Questions of staff? I guess I didn't expect all this multifamily, but understanding that this is an entertainment district, a social district, I still remember what the vice president of Goodwill said when he came, where's my rooftops? You need people to create a saturation for retail and for all of these other spaces. Now, the hotel is going to be driving itself, I think, but that's a lot of multifamily in there. I understand it, but it wasn't what I envisioned.
So Mayor and Council, the other thing is that on that multifamily, and I'll have to send you a link to the video because it shows better. There's retail and restaurants on the first floor, so the multifamily is above that on a podium. And it's not as much as you think. So if you think Triple Crown is about 620 units, it's about similar over the entire site.
Okay.
So I think one of the things they're going to look at kind of that phase is, do you do a second hotel kind of as the next phase? Because the first hotel, I think, particularly when there's multiple events going on, is going to fill up. I think it's only 150 rooms. So
No, that makes definitely makes a difference to the Commissioner Lehman.
Mr. President, do we know what the size and capacity of the hotel is in this concept plan?
It's about 150 rooms.
Chamber will like that.
Well, I mean, for what's out there, you're right, we're gonna need more hotel space. I think.
Yeah. But I think this is going to be phased, and it's going to develop over time, and multifamily could be changed to a hotel in that situation, and talking about the next site over, too. Anybody else have any comments or concerns? What's the wishes of the commission? Commissioner Contreras.
Thank you, President. I'd like to make a motion to approve change order with Gensler for $55,000 with the cost split 50/50 with Canterbury Development.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor, seconded by Commissioner Lara. Discussion? Commissioner Lehman.
Mr. President, is it 110,000 and 55 will be the city's portion and 55 will be Canterbury Development's portion? Or is the total is 55?
total, split 50/50.
Okay.
More discussion? Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Congratulations, we got a new plan. All right, we got another great item on the agenda tonight, 4B. Mr. Kursky?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Mr. Lara, thank you. We have a motion and a second to open the public hearing. It is a public hearing. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have our public hearing open. Mr. Kursky.
Chair and Commissioners, the same presentation you just saw 2 minutes ago. We just typically bring it to City Council and the EDA, and we've done that historically.
Commissioner Lehman. You want to repeat or comment?
I already made my comments. I think it's very risky and it's,
This is a public hearing. Is there anybody who would like to make comment on this TIF presentation? Okay, two more chances. Public hearing. It's your time to talk about this discussion on the TIF district for the quarry. One more chance, public hearing. All right, what's the wishes of the council? Commissioner Contreras.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
A motion is seconded by Commissioner Delaney. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are closed. Public hearing is closed. What is the wishes of the commission? Commissioner Contreras.
Make a motion to adopt resolution number E 2026-002, rescinding resolution number E 2024-006, and approving the tax increment financing soil deficiency plan for District Number 22 and the modified redevelopment plan for the Minnesota River Valley Housing and Redevelopment Project Number 1.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
aye.
Passes 3-2. We are on to item 4C, amendment to the interfund loan for TIF District 22. Mr. Kursky.
President and commission members, so the agenda item is basically a resolution to amend the interfund loan from $300,000 to $600,000 for the gravel pit TIF, which was recently approved. So this would allow us to reimburse any staff time, any consultant time between now and when we receive our first tax increment with tax increment funds.
So a follow-up item from the discussion we just had. Any questions of staff? Commissioner Lehman.
Mr. President, in the memo, it says you're increasing this to 600,000 authorization and to be paid with EDA general fund or other eligible sources. So what would other eligible sources be?
Really could be any city fund, but the intention would be to spend the money upfront out of the EDA fund and then be reimbursed back to the EDA from the TIF admin.
So interfund loan structure would be 10% or 7% interest? If it was an interfund loan?
That is correct.
And what interfunds would that be?
Okay, so it would be the gravel pit TIF, so TIF 22 and the EDA. So
We
the
would be-
the original expenses would come out of the EDA since we don't have increment at this point in time.
Right?
But when we receive increment in 2030, 2031, once it starts generating increment, that would be then reimbursed to the EDA.
Right, but when it says interfund loan, I'm thinking of stormwater fund, sewer fund.
Well, it would be the EDA general fund.
Do you happen to know how much is in the EDA general fund?
Not off the top of my head, but
Any further questions? Mr. Delaney, you had a question?
I think it might have been answered. I was curious, the money to pay this back is, I think it's already been answered.
Okay.
Asked, yeah.
Any further questions of staff? What's the wishes of the body? Commissioner Lara?
I make a motion to approve Resolution E 2026-003, authorizing the additional interfund loan and increasing the total authorization to $600,000.
A
Second.
motion and a second. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Passes 4-1. All right. Next on our agenda is the EDA bill list. Is there any questions about the bills?
None for me.
None.
Seeing none, we'll move on. Look for a motion to adjourn to June 2nd, 2026 at 7 PM. Commissioner Contreras.
I'll make that motion to adjourn to June 2nd, 2026 at 7 PM.
A motion
I'll second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.
Thank you.
All right, we'll reconvene the Shakopee City Council meeting now, and we will move to 11A Park and Rec Annual Report Presentation. And if it takes a couple of minutes to, I'll tell you what, let's take a short recess, and that'll give you time to make sure the technology is up to speed.
I'll make a
Mr. Lara?
motion to recess for 10 minutes.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Contreras. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We're in recess for 10 minutes. Item 11A, Park and Rec Annual Report Presentation by a Park and Rec Director.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Tonight, I am here to give you our annual report for the Parks and Recreation Department for 2025. So when I look back, as I was putting this together, I really kind of articulated that 2025 was a year of growth and change for the Parks and Recreation Department. It was the year that we made intentional change to ensure long-term financial sustainability, service quality, and system resilience through various different policies that we brought forward to council, standard operating procedures that we developed to help us internally, and ultimately set our department up for long-term success, no matter who holds what positions in it. So one thing I have to highlight first is last year, we've opened the newly renovated Sand Venture Aquatic Park. We almost didn't open it on time. We had some pretty challenging issues right as we were getting ready to open, but fortunately we were able to open on time and get everything fixed. One thing that we did in 2025, we brought it forward to council in 2024, but we significantly changed the pricing structure of Sand Venture. We simplified daily admission and made it a resident and non-resident fee, which we had never had the resident and non-resident fee before. And we increased the prices of our season passes and our punch cards fairly significantly because we hadn't had an increase in so long. So knowing that that was gonna be potential, a little bit of a sticker shock to our residents, one thing we did was we offered a 25% off for 2025 Pirate Day promotion at the community center on April 25th. The goal of this was to get the residents and the community excited about Sand Venture opening, give them this opportunity to get this great discount to come utilize the facility. And that day we sold $117,205 worth of season passes and punch cards, which achieved 31% of our revenue target for 2025 in that single day. So that kicked us off for a successful season right away. That day we sold 893 season passes and punch cards combined, which was a 138% increase from 2023, since we were not open in 2024. So I felt like that really set the stage, knowing that the community was excited about this pool to reopen. Sand Venture ended its 2025 season achieving a cost recovery percentage of 61%, which is very unique for outdoor pools. Usually it's significantly lower. Having Tommy's Malt Shop as our partner operating the concessions just created a lot less staff time in that operation, and community members and residents and even non-residents that visited the pool had, I think, just a better high quality concession option, which was awesome as well. Sand Venture was featured on Shane Wells, Kristen Stewart, and Ian Leder news segments last year. So despite our rainy June, I think we had 16 or 17 rain days last season. Our inaugural season of the renovated pool went very well. All right, so you all have probably seen this slide before. Bill Egan and I think it was about this time last year, presented on the progress for our various accreditation efforts. So for Parks and Recreation, that's our CAPRA accreditation, which stands for the Commission for Agencies, a Commission for Accredited Park and Recreation Agencies. So when we presented this to you all last year, I think it was in April, we were still working on our self-assessment. That was completed and submitted in January of 2025. Our CAPRA team reviewed it, they got us feedback, we provided them additional information, and so we are actually, today and tomorrow, our CAPRA team is here for our on-site visit. So I just want to take a moment and recognize our 3 team members. Our CAPRA review team is all volunteers. They volunteer their time to our national agency to come out and perform these reviews and review all the material beforehand. So at its core, CAPRA accreditation is about ensuring we're operating at the highest standards in how we plan, manage our resources, and ultimately serve our community. It's industry best practices. The work that I'm going to continue to talk about that we worked on through 2025, from our policies and procedures to our department restructure, was done intentionally to align with these standards and strengthen how we operate long-term and how we ultimately serve our community. Through this process, we've demonstrated compliance with approximately 96% of the CAPRA standards, which reflects a very high level of operational alignment. Most importantly, this work ensures greater accountability, both to the council and our community, more consistent service delivery, and a strong stewardship of public resources. It has been a true team effort, not just within our Parks and Recreation Department, but the city as a whole, finance, HR, public works, engineering, planning, and development. Today, we spent a good portion of our day touring the various recreation facilities and our parks, public works department, and city hall. So it's really truly been about setting the groundwork for long-term sustainability and to ensure ultimately our community and our residents that we are operating within the best practices. So one of the things that we did in 2025 was we developed quite a few policies. These were all the various policies that were brought forward to the council last year. Our comprehensive revenue policy that sets strategic pricing for how we price our programs and services. We brought forward the outdoor facility use policy, our temporary advertising and sponsorship, our recreation program plan, which is a day-to-day document on how we operationalize our park and recreation master plan, and really helps staff at all levels of the Parks and Recreation Department implement those initiatives on a day-to-day basis. We put together a community center fee structure to put some more strategy and consistency with our pricing. Again, that'll be a multi-year plan to get us to where we ultimately need to be. And then the modification and enhancement of city facilities, that's ultimately a citywide policy, but the Parks and Recreation Department had a pretty significant part in putting that together. And that has streamlined operations not only for Parks and Recreation, but for Public Works, Planning and Development, and Engineering. So that's been a huge thing that has just made staff time more efficient and more efficient process for our residents. Some other things we worked on in 2025, more on the standard operating procedure development. We worked on putting together a succession plan, which this just outlines when various positions in our department are going to be out of the office, whether it's for a vacation or a long-term leave, who steps into that role in the interim, and making sure that that person is trained and cross-trained and knows what to do in the event that that happens. Kind of on that same playing field, we have our procedures and operations handbook, which just outlines how staff are expected to operate in our department and handle things on a day-to-day basis. A lot of the stuff that's in this handbook is also in the employee handbook, but we go through things like basic customer service expectations, and all of that in that handbook as well. So that's been hugely helpful when we're onboarding new staff members, whether it's part-time or full-time. And then we modified our emergency action plan to encompass the new Sand Venture layout, the community center, and the ice arena. And then finally, we put together our programs and events weather procedures. As you all know, in Minnesota, weather can change on a dime. So this just put together some guiding practices for staff to determine how to handle outdoor programs in various weather situations. All right, and one of the big things that we did towards the end of 2025 was we did a departmental restructure at the management level. This came to council on our very last meeting in December and then went into effect on January 12th of this year. So what this really did is it took the same resources that we were already utilizing from a staffing structure and rearranged it to provide more support for the staff below them and ensuring that each major facility and division within our department has a dedicated manager. And it's now May, which is crazy, but we've been in this structure for a little less than half a year, and the difference has been tremendous. I meet with staff that are not my direct reports once a quarter, and the feedback I'm getting is that they're feeling more supported, they know who to go to, and coupled with our succession plan, when we have someone out, they then also know who their next point of contact is. As part of this, we also establish an assistant director position, which just helps for, like, if I'm out of the office or in a meeting, there's someone else that's clearly the next person to go to. So this has been, it ensures that every area of our department has leadership, support, and accountability to deliver these high-quality services that we want to make sure that we are delivering to our community. All right, so now we're going to talk numbers. In 2024, the overall cost recovery for our department was about 51%. In 2025, that came up to 62%. Our goal with our comprehensive revenue policy and how we price our services is to ultimately get to 75%. So while we're a little ways from there, we're making good progress towards that goal. And just for comparison, according to the National Park and Recreation Association, the average for park and rec departments is a 27% cost recovery. So even though we're not quite to that 75% goal yet, we're significantly above average with regards to cost recovery, which just signals, that we're very financially responsible in our practices as far as pricing our programs and services, monitoring expenses, and all of that. Okay, so taking us away from the numbers for a little bit, I just want to highlight some programs and different things that happened in 2025 that I think make a community impact. So 2025 was the first year that we implemented what we call our Park Passport program. This is a free program for residents over the summer, and the goal is to really get our community out into our parks and to explore and experience all the various different park amenities that Shakopee has to offer. So that was a very popular program that happened. First year was last year. We're planning to do it again, and we already have, I think, 50 people signed up for it. We partnered with the school district, and we had a CAPS intern this last session. And Emma, who was our CAPS intern, really worked on putting together a informational packet about Parks and Recreation, the community center, everything it has to offer. And then the goal was to partner with realtors to have them give this packet to new residents when they purchase a home so that they immediately have that information and they can start getting involved. We just wrapped up our third year of our AOA Resource Fair, which is a free event to our active older adults. We bring in vendors from different city departments to the county to businesses like All Saints. We have estate planning and various other services, and it's free for them to attend and just get like a wealth of information. Our AOA program coordinator started this in 2025, and it's only gotten increasingly popular. Our one for 2026 just completed last week. So that's a great event that we're offering as well. We opened, alongside our planning and development department and engineering and public works, 2 new parks in 2025, our Jackson Commons Park and the Marystown Dog Agility Course, which the formal grand opening will be this Saturday at 10:30, along with our Bark in the Park event. And finally, we brought back our very long ago event, which was our Jack-o'-lantern 5K. And it was very rainy and very cold, but it was a great event and something that we're really excited to continue and bring back. So as we look into 2026, one of our big goals is to hopefully receive our CAPRA accreditation. And if we're able to achieve that, we're not done. So accreditation is every 5 years, so making sure that we're staying up on the practices that we have implemented in order to achieve that accreditation will be key. Making sure that as the community grows, that we expand our programs and services strategically, that we're consistently monitoring our revenues and our expenditures to making sure that we're moving that cost recovery goal in the right direction, and that we're doing so with strategic and consistent processes in order to do that. And then lastly, to ensure that we're always continuing to align with the best practices of our industry. I feel like that is the best way for us to serve our community and to give them a park and recreation department and various offerings that they can be proud of. And that is all I have for you today, and I'm happy to stand for questions.
Questions of staff? Mr. Whiting?
Not a question, but I just want to congratulate you on your cost recovery being over double what the national average is, and
Thank you.
moving towards that. It's not meant to. It's a civic. It's a project, I guess. It's Parks and Rec from the city. It's not meant to be a cost center for us, I guess.
Correct.
So congratulations on moving towards that direction.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Any other questions of staff? You mentioned your 3 CAPRA representatives. Are any of them here tonight?
Yes, so we have Austin, Katie, and Tez in the back. Austin comes to us from Indianapolis, Katie is from Virginia, and Tez is from Atlanta. So the Minnesota weather delivered today as we were out and about in the parks.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to Shakopee. I hope you enjoyed your time here, and if you have any questions for us, don't feel free to reach out. The question I have for Kelsey is, are we able to get information from them also, what's going on in other areas, not Shakopee, but outside of Shakopee, what different things different people are doing?
We can certainly put something together to give you a little comparison. Our self-assessment is actually up on our city website, so anyone can go up onto our website under recreation and look at what the standard is, what we submitted for evidence of compliance, but I'd be happy to work with them to put something together to give you a comparison to.
Well, I guess what I'm kind of asking is, I'm guessing, and I don't know this is maybe their area, but other parts of the countries might have different recreational things.
Yes, absolutely.
Than our climate. And, what trends are they seeing in different areas? Some areas around us that are kind of similar in weather patterns. It's a curiosity thing more than anything else.
Yeah.
But is that something that we get out of being a part of this process?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I actually didn't know this, but talking to them today, so when you volunteer to be a CAPRA reviewer, you don't get to review an agency within the state that you live in. So they strategically place you or send you to a location that you don't live in, which I didn't know and thought that was very interesting.
It is. I mean, I'm just curious, what's the big recreational things in California?
Yep.
Not from California, but
I know some of that might be surfing, right? They got the ocean, but
Yes.
Just
And I would
curious.
say pickleball's probably popular everywhere. I'd go out on a limb to
Yeah.
say that today.
Yeah.
10 years ago, maybe not, but today I would.
Well, I hope they enjoyed themselves in Shakopee. We certainly have a lot to offer. We're very diversified with our offerings, and we're constantly, taking a look at everything and trying to stay up with the trends for sure. It's died down a little bit on the trend craze, but it always seems to pop up and new things,
Yes, yes.
Mr.
I
Whiting?
did think of a question. So with your capital review, they'll supply us with a report on where we exceeded, where we might need to work on, things like that. Will you be coming back and presenting that to us then?
Yes, I will. So they're going to wrap up their visit tomorrow. So then they compile a report and they send it off to the staff within NRPA that does CAPRA. And then at the end of September, we will go to what they call a CAPRA hearing, where they will talk about where our strengths are in our self-assessment and areas for improvement. So once we have that, then I will come back in the next council meeting. I will put that on the agenda. We can do a presentation on that.
We can decide if we make that public then.
Nice.
Fine.
Well, very nice work. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it. Love to enjoy your feedback, and I'm sure you're gathering some information from what we're doing here that you can use elsewhere also. So, good stuff going on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just want to make sure I didn't log back into my.
Good.
Okay, 11B, final plat of Highview Park 6th Edition.
I recognize this parcel.
Yeah.
He's getting good on those PowerPoint.
Go ahead,
Ready?
sir. Floor is
Okay.
yours.
Mayor and council, again, this is the final plat of Highview Park 6th Edition. Four Star USA Real Estate Group owner and applicant has proposed the final plat of Highview Park 6th Edition located south of County State Highway 78 and west of Zembro Avenue. This is the sixth phase of the development consisting of 29 single-family homes. Four Star is a partner with D.R. Horton, and the home starts have been strong with Highview Park subdivision. Their proposal is consistent with the comp plan guiding and zoning density requirements, and the developer would propose homes compliant with the design and performance standards for the R1B zoning district. So this is the final plat. You can see they've already graded it out under their preliminary plat. So right now, they're final platting that insert A area, which is that 29 homes. So here is the actual final plat. So we ask you approve resolution R 2026-71, approving the final plat of Highview Park 6th Edition.
Any changes from the preliminary plat?
No, sir.
Questions for staff? Wishes of council? Mr. Whiting?
Make a motion to approve Resolution R 2026-071, approving the final plat of Park 6th Edition.
Is there a second, Counselor Contreras?
Got it. Thank you.
Discussion on the motion? Discussion on the motion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Kursky. Item 11C was removed from the agenda and will come back at a future meeting. 12 liaison reports. I think I started here last time, didn't I? So we'll start over here, Mr. Delaney.
Okay. Shakopee Utility Commission, their financial audit completed. It kicked off on 12 January and concluded on 20 March. There were no findings. And a little exciting here, for the 9th successive year, our utility received a Certificate of Excellence in Reliability. We consistently outperform other utilities. I believe we have about an 18.52-minute average interruption per customer. Most utilities have about 119 minutes. So we're definitely there. They take a proactive approach toward reducing the outages, whether it's through the wildlife, vegetation, or weather. Pretty much they have a pole inspection program, also have an active tree trimming policy. So congratulations to our utility for continuing to provide this outstanding service and achieving this reliability benchmark year after year. Other than that, the City Cleanup Day. That's always a great event. Residents enjoy it. It's, some wish they would come later in the day. Usually there's a big pileup in the morning, but some are wising up to showing up later to beat the early morning rush. And this Thursday, National Day of Prayer. If you're participating, there's also kind of events in the area. So that's it.
Mr. Whiting?
Thank you. On Wednesday, the 29th, we had the MVTA meeting. We discussed moving forward on our becoming a direct recipient from the federal government rather than take our chunk from Met Council, so that's moving forward. We also had a Title VI report that has to do with equity in transit. So things like, not putting the worst buses in the poorest neighborhoods, things like that. It's all equity and shared. It takes a look at complaints and concerns against Title VI, and we ended up doing pretty well on that. We also discussed the transportation network pilot for our Connect service. That's the on-call service. So what we're going to be piloting, and this has not been approved yet, it's coming back at our next meeting, but utilizing Uber and Lyft when the time for getting the Connect reaches a certain point in, a length of time where it's going to be a concern. Maybe it's 20 minutes or something. It would the system would automatically dispatch an Uber or Lyft driver and be subsidized through that.
So how would you are they going to screen if it's somebody with a mobility issue?
That would have to be part of it, yeah. Mobility issues would have to be handled with the services that can handle that. But if it's just a general Connect ride, once you start getting into a 45-minute to an hour ride, then it becomes more burdensome and people aren't going to use the service. So then we'll be looking at that pilot and seeing if it was of value to the service and helps maintain the service. And it also takes away a little bit of the argument from the Uber and Lyft drivers that the MVTA Connect is taking work away from them if we partner with them.
Who would would they be subcontracted by MVTA? So who would be the ultimate responsible party?
It would be, depending on if you're talking about a driver situation.
Well,
there's not much we can do to
I call
to
MVTA
screen.
for the ride.
Yep.
They send me an Uber or a Lyft. Is the Uber or the Lyft the responsible party, or is MVTA the
It'd
responsible
be
party?
MVTA, and
Okay.
there'd be the same costs too, so you wouldn't be paying the full cost, but
Okay.
it would be within that general area of the MVTA Connect. So this is just a pilot program, taking a look at how we can reduce some of those wait times.
Fill the gaps?
So, yeah, exactly, fill the gaps. We also had a ridership report that showed increase in Connect service up 19.54% over last year, so that's good. We had included in that ridership report was our partnerships for different concerts. There's a whole list of concerts we helped to work with. Minnesota United, Vikings, Gophers, Shakopee Lions, Ice Golf. They had a bus out there for that. So they're doing a lot within the cities and communities that we're in to help some of those concerns that we have in need of transit. I do have the annual report if anybody's interested in taking a look at that, or I can leave that with staff. And that's about all I have.
All right. If you could give a copy of that to staff, that'd be great. I'd like to read it over. Councilor Contreras?
Thank you, Mayor. My only report is cleanup day. That was a great success, so that was really good.
Thanks for your awesome free labor. Mr. Lara?
Same. I attended the cleanup day on the 25th. It was not sunny. It was rainy, so
Lied to.
we were deceived.
In my section, it was sunny and 70 degrees. I don't know where you guys were.
Underneath the water.
But it's always good to see a great turnout for that. The compliments that we get as cars come through, just hearing their feedback of, thank you for doing this. This is great. So it's just, it's a great event to get out and talk to a bunch of different people. So
Mine is, HOA bill was approved at the state, and, a couple of calls from some of our representatives and senators and stuff, and really, we don't have the direct concerns of HOAs that others have. The concerns that we do have, I raised, and they were included in the bill, and our concerns are really that if you have an HOA development and they're building private streets or a community structure of some sort, outdoor pool, whatever, that's that's available not only for the HOA community, but for the general public, then they have to have the funds available to maintain them structures or them outdoor things that everybody can use. The other problem was, same with the roads. I mean, we've all seen it in the past where you have private roads and they come forward after the road's 30 years old and shot and find out they gotta rebuild it and they didn't save up for it, and now they want city streets all of a sudden. Both of them issues were addressed in the bill, so I was pretty happy of that. They're trying to give a lot more rights to the homeowners. At the same time, they did put some stuff in about meeting structure, documentation of budgeting, these types of things that you would expect to be there anyway, right? So that's good. They laid some framework down. I haven't found out yet where the electric bike bill is and how that's moving forward. We certainly would like to see some improvements on that. And we'll see. There's talk of possibly a licensing of some sort, kind of like a bicycle, to where there's your opportunity when you get that licensing to give that educational piece on what you have and where it can be used and how it can be used and what the rules are. I think there is some confusion out there about that. So keeping a handle on some of that stuff, and that's the extent of my report for today. Anything else, Mr. Reynolds?
Nothing for me, sir.
12A, city bill list.
No questions.
The turbo is more expensive than the turbo actuator. 11B, there's a bill in there for a turbo actuator, $1,300, and that's, it's probably a heavier piece of equipment. The turbos themselves are pretty spendy.
Since I can't have another turbo.
Yeah. 12B, news and announcements. Who did it last time?
I'll take one.
Go ahead.
Sand Venture Sale, this Friday, May 8th. Get 10% off season passes and punch cards online and at the community center all day. Pick up a scratch-off ticket in person at the community center for a chance to win even more discounts.
Nice. Counselor Contreras?
Yep, Bark in the Park. The Shakopee Parks and Recreation Department annual Bark in the Park event will be happening in conjunction with the grand opening of the Marystown Canine Agility Park on Saturday, May 9th from 10 to noon. This free event will celebrate the official opening of Shakopee's newest dog park. Dogs are welcome and encouraged to attend with their owners as well.
Very good. Counselor Whiting?
Shakopee Social District is open on May 1st, 2026. The Shakopee Social District officially reopened for the season. So, all right, grab your cups, hit the road.
The sidewalks.
Mind the rules. Hand the, here, give that to
Well, if you want
staff.
to look at it, go ahead.
All right. Can I give it to staff?
Then give it to staff, yeah.
All right. Item 13, any other business? Wishes of council. Anybody?
Make a motion to adjourn to May 19th, 2026 at 7 PM.
Second by Mr. Lara. He had his hand up
Oh,
earlier.
sorry.
Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes, we're adjourned.
Thanks, everyone.